we'll just say he's been very generous.
Yes,
we'll say that.
yes.
And he did give me, what do you even call it? I don't know. He did
A gift.
He did give me a
financial gift.
Yes,
yeah.
he did. And he is the one who brought it up. And I was like,
It's awkward,
it's so
isn't it?
awkward.
Yeah.
It's so awkward. But I was like, wow, this is so nice of you. Thank you.
Right.
And then he bought me jewelry and bought me things and wined and dined me and flew me first class.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Secrets of a Sugar Daddy. Here's your host, Marcus.
Welcome to another episode of Secrets of a Sugar Daddy, the number one sugar dating podcast in Jamaica, man, and the rest of the world, where we pull back the curtains on the good and the bad. And it's just me today and a couple guests, but the shocking stories of sugar dating. Lily could not make it today. She had a little family issue come up, so it's just me hosting, but we've got a couple guests today that it's going to be a really fun show, and I've got some good questions lined up that they are unaware of. Ooh. Yeah. You know what? Let me think here. This episode will come out, I think, right at the end of October, so if you have not signed up for our party yet, you are running out of time. But here's the thing. You still want to sign up even if you don't get chosen, because we are going to have more parties. There's lots of good artists that come through town. Bands love the Phoenix area. And we are going to get more suites and more packages together. And if you enter, we'll automatically roll you over to the next contest. So be looking for that on our website. If you want to enter for a chance to win tickets to a suite, private suite, all you can eat, all you can drink, to see Ricky Martin, Enrique Iglesias, and Mr. Worldwide Pitbull. Yeah, go fill out the survey, and that will come to us, and then you'll get in line for this concert. It's going to be a weekend of November 24th, 25th, and 26th. It also includes 3 days and 2 nights of lodging, a pre-party at my house, and we just secured the transportation to and from the party. It's a 22-person party bus with LED lights and a stripper pole. Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, just go to our website and all the information is there. Also, too, we want to thank Pod Populi for this beautiful studio. My guests are all curled up in these plush chairs. If you want to start a podcast, they're a lot of fun, and you can maybe even make money at it one day. That would be a nice thing if we could actually make money at this, but we're getting close.
Hire me and I'll make you some money.
Yeah, well, I'll bring you in when I feel like bringing you in. And then finally, Maria Scaptura. She's a good friend of ours who advertised last year. She's a PhD student at the University of Arkansas, and she has some research money that she has given us. It's a small amount, but we do appreciate that, and we want you to help her out and get her money's worth. It's a quick survey. If you go to our website, there's a link that says survey, and it's a little 1 to 2 minute survey. You can click a few questions, and then you can also do a phone interview with her. It's unrecorded. You don't even have to give your name, but it's going to give her valuable data and information about sugar dating. And this research that she's doing is actually sanctioned by the University of Arkansas. So it's going to be cool. We encourage you to participate in that, especially since she actually paid money to get this message out there. So let's show her some love and get her money's worth, and it'll help all of us. All right, on to my guest. These are great friends of the show and now personal friends of ours, and I want to welcome the almost world famous Podcast Fanboy and Katy, who's been on our show now, and these two have met because of the podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, so hello, Podcast Fanboy. Hello, Katy.
Hello, Marcus.
How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for having us back.
We talked about this in the past shows, but we had a triple date last night. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. Katy, what do you think of... Well, first of all, you've heard about Maple and Ash probably on our podcast, and the Beverly And you got to experience both of those. Beverly is a bar here in Old Town Scottsdale that we really love to go to. And you posted some really cool photos on Instagram. I love that.
That's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm such an attention whore when it comes to social media. If it didn't happen on social media, did it really happen? I have to post it.
Now, you know that the Beverly, or maybe you don't know, was owned by a sugar daddy.
I did not know that.
So
did
if
you
you
know that, Podcast Fanboy?
Did you happen to notice the names of the drinks?
Oh, my goodness. We need to go back.
We have to go back now, definitely.
They have a lot of sugar influence
Okay.
in the names of the drinks. Yeah, it's a lot of
It's
fun.
all coming together now.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Okay. I didn't know that.
I told Katie it was a popular place for sugar daddies and sugar babies to go.
You know,
I didn't
I've
know it
done
was
a
owned by
lot
one.
of meet and greets there. Matter of fact, I talked about this one on an Extra Sugar. Not too long ago. I did a meet and greet there where the girl literally ran out of the bar. Do you remember
What did you
that?
do to her?
I didn't do anything to her. I think she was double booked.
Oh,
I think she had another date.
I mean, it happens, I
that-
guess. Yeah.
Yeah, that she was probably late for.
She's popular.
That's our guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You didn't upset her.
No, I didn't. We had a great time. That's why it was so shocking to me that, like, literally she ran. I saw her running out of the bar.
Did you see her again after that night?
No. So, and I talked about this. This was a dilemma that I came across, is because I didn't always compensate for a meet and greet, but after doing the show and hearing what the girls go through and the time they spend and getting ready and all this stuff, I've kind of changed my tune, right?
The struggle's
I do
real.
appreciate it.
It's a lot of work.
Now, it's not my normal allowance amount, but I'll give them a little something just for showing up, right?
Yeah.
And I told her I would. Well, as she's getting up out of her seat, she gives me a kiss on the cheek and she starts leaving. I'm like, oh, wait. How am I supposed to send you the gift I promised you? And she's like, oh, just sell it to me. And she literally like runs out the door, and I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I just ordered another drink, and the bartender serves it to me, and now I'm sitting here by myself. All these people in the bar all have these conversations going on, and I'm just sitting there by myself, very uncomfortable. Yeah. And it started pissing me off. So I go home, and I'm just thinking about, do I send this to her or not? I mean, I said I would, but it was just I was so rude the way it ended.
Yeah, very abruptly.
So I polled our listeners, and it was pretty much 50-50, but yeah, some of them say, yep, you owe her. And others will say, fuck that bitch. Yeah, so it was 50-50.
Because she wasn't there that long with you either.
No. So
Well, yeah.
anyway,
I don't know.
that all happened at that bar.
So much has happened at that bar,
Yeah.
sounds like.
All right, just to get our audience caught up on YouTube, because we're getting new listeners every day. We really are the #1 podcast in Jamaica. We just hit #1 there, so we appreciate all of our Jamaica listeners.
Wow.
That's pretty fun, huh?
Maybe a lot of people are on vacation wanting and listening to the
I
show,
don't know.
maybe?
I don't know. You know who was #2? Oh, that was in, we had another one where we were #1 and Dr. Sex Fairy was #2.
I don't even know who that is.
She records out of the Florida studio, Popular Studio.
Well, now I have to look her up.
Yeah, she's got a great show. She's gone video now. She's doing more video.
I mean, that sounds like a show that
Yeah.
should be on video.
Yeah, but she talks about all kinds of sexual issues during
nice.
dating that come up, and she does a lot of treatments for people to help
cool.
keep them. One fact that she did get, she said 20% of 20 people in their 20s have some form of ED, and it goes up 10% every 10 years. So 30% of the 30-year-olds, 40% of 50% of the 50-year-olds, and so on. So
That doesn't
it's a very
surprise me.
it's a very common issue that she deals with. and
Surprising,
helps.
though, for 20-somethings. But
Yeah.
in this generation, I've been
Yeah.
hearing a lot of things like that. I
Yeah.
think life is different.
So she
now.
has a very interesting perspective on different sexuality functions and things like that. And then she just put out a fun Instagram reel that did the top 3 sexual positions, preferred sexual positions.
Oh, gosh. Were they surprising, or was it missionary, doggy, and
What do you think was #1?
#1, woman on top, whatever that's
Cowgirl.
called?
It was doggy.
It was doggy.
Oh,
Yeah, #1.
Okay.
#2,
Woman on top.
yeah.
Yeah. #3, missionary.
Missionary, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
basic.
Pretty standard, yeah. Yeah. I know what Alejandra likes.
Oh, can you
do
tell
tell.
me?
I mean,
Woman on top.
Oh, really?
Oh, she has complete control that way.
And it's probably
Loves it.
easier to reach.
Yeah.
The big O.
My ex-wife was the same way.
Is that right?
That was her favorite position, yeah. When she wanted to get there, that was the position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's actually mine too.
The woman on top.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it?
Absolutely.
I didn't know that, Podcast Fanboy. I mean, I should know that.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, so back to you guys. All right, so just a quick primer to get everybody caught up. Podcast Fanboy. I still love that nickname that Lily gave you, but it's true.
It is very true.
It describes you. You're 66.
Yes, I am.
And you found the show through a mutual sugar baby that I had met.
Exactly.
Gosh, a couple years ago. She introduced you to the show. She was on, you said episode 19.
19, I believe.
Yeah, so that was early on since we're well in the hundreds now. And she told you about the show and you started listening and then you just started getting involved with the characters.
Yep.
These are characters.
I
Characters.
binged until I got caught up. I've seen you go through numerous co-hosts.
Yeah.
Seen that evolution and have not missed an episode since.
Yeah. So we appreciate you being maybe our biggest podcast fanboy.
I think so.
We have a podcast fangirl too.
So
we
I
actually
heard.
got a couple of them.
She's from New Jersey, right?
Yeah, she's coming to the party.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. She messages us all the time, and we do read them. And there's no way she was not going to be invited to the party. Yeah, so we're actually paying her airfare all the way from New Jersey.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's going to be fun. We look forward to meeting her. And then Katy,
Yeah.
you're from a small Midwestern town of 5,000 people,
It
right?
is. Yeah. 5,000 people.
Yeah. And I actually grew up in a Texas town of 5,000 people,
Oh.
so I can appreciate
Yes. Yep. Small
until
town
we
living.
moved to a big town of 20,000 people.
That is a step up. Yeah.
Well, we're just
Yes.
3 small town people here, then.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
my hometown was 2,000 people.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So we are those good small town roots. We've
Yeah.
got those. Yeah.
So you were on our podcast a few weeks ago, and just to refresh everybody, Podcast Fanboy was episode 100. His episode, and I've still to this day claim that he has paid people to listen to it because the numbers were, there's numbers that we expect, and they go up and down every day. His shot through the roof, and I told Lily, I was like, I don't know what's going on here. The numbers are going off the charts crazy with
Wow.
episode 100.
It's because he listens to it all day on loop, all
Yeah.
day. That's all we listen to.
I think he went on Fiverr and just hired all of India or something to start to download the episode because the numbers were fantastic and they're still good. But you know what? In the last 90 days, our second most popular episode was yours, Katy.
Shut
I
the
am
front
not
door.
even
Come
kidding
on.
you. Yeah.
Well, it was the longest because
It was pretty long.
I talk so much.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay.
So that was good. So then what happened is Podcast Fanboy reaches out and says, hey, she seemed pretty attractive and I like what she said. Do you mind if I reached out to her? I'm like, go right ahead, Podcast Fanboy.
Well, okay, you saw me though too, right? Podcast Fanboy, because through social media.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
He was able to link you up through
Yep,
social media.
yep,
I think, is that what I shared with you?
Well, I put 2 and 2 together because
Yeah.
of who she was on with before
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
looked that
Yes.
up.
Oh,
and then
that's
I
right.
saw links to her social
Right.
media. So
Okay.
Yeah. We just don't talk about that episode, but
Right.
I've been on a few times.
Yeah. So you guys started texting.
yes.
We did.
You
we
never
s-
FaceTime though,
We did not. So
which
we
I find surprising.
I know it's a lot of it is surprising actually because we started talking over social media and then we moved it to text and we never even had a phone conversation before we met in person
Yeah.
and I flew out there. So text conversations were so great. It was like I really got a feel for who he was.
Yeah, but I've had
Oh.
I've had some amazing texting sessions with somebody, and then when in person I met them, I'm just like, oh fuck, like I didn't know you were shaped like a bell.
Oh, really?
Well, I think
So,
I think the reason it worked for us is we both had credibility because of you
Yes.
guys.
Okay.
True.
You knew both of us, and so
Yeah.
it wasn't like we were just shooting into the dark.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I was obviously not a catfish because of
Right.
my job. You know what
Yeah.
I did. And then you were verifiable as well. So yeah.
And well, Podcast Fanboy, you've been in the sugar dating lifestyle for approximately how long?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years.
Okay.
Now, it was interrupted by a brief marriage.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, sometimes that shit happens.
yeah, I know. What was I thinking?
And so you're very familiar with it. But Katie, on the other hand, this is all new territory for her. And
It
she's
is.
had, we talked about a few experiences that you've had.
Yeah.
Have you had any since?
No, just the same, just
Okay.
Podcast Fanboy. So
Yeah. So your next move was to fly out
Yeah.
and spend Labor Day weekend with Podcast Fanboy.
in the mountains, it was
Were you really nervous?
no, I wasn't nervous.
You weren't nervous at all?
No,
Because
I
you
wasn't.
never physically talked to him.
But I had heard his voice on your episode.
Oh,
I
that's
knew his
true.
whole life story. Like we talked over text a ton, and it would just I don't know. Maybe maybe that was dumb of me. I don't know. But
You know, sometimes we just live adventurously, and that's part of the thrill of life.
it wasn't even really I just knew he was who he said he was.
Yeah.
I just knew how it was going to go. It was I wasn't nervous. I was excited.
What was your thoughts when you actually met him?
Oh,
Like you saw him physically, the first thoughts that came through your mind.
I was like, whoa, you're tall. I like that.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Okay.
Taller than I expected, which was great.
And you are how tall, Katie?
5'4", but I
That
always wear
works.
heels.
Yeah,
Works
that
great.
works great. Yeah.
So
So you were a little surprised how tall he was.
yeah, just he was there at the bottom of the escalator waiting for me when I got there. Obviously,
Did you recognize him immediately?
Yeah, definitely. Yes.
With the big grin on his face, you knew he was.
He was so happy.
There
He
was one happy guy in the airport. That day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was so dumb. I way overpacked for that trip. Remember how?
Yes.
Well, okay, backtrack. He flew me first class, which was amazing.
Isn't that fun? Have you flown first class before?
Only once.
Well, but it's
So
a treat.
it was-
I've flown dozens of times, but it's still every time I get in,
It
it's such a
was
treat.
awesome. So because of that, I had a higher available weight limit for my bag, which was a big perk. And I packed so much. Didn't I pack so much?
You did. You did. You could have made all 4 seasons out there.
I just could have lived there. Yeah. So so we had to wait for my bag though, and it took forever in the airport, small airport.
So slow.
But yeah, it was good. Yeah, it was great right away.
All right, Podcast Fanboy, what were your first thoughts?
I see her coming down the escalator, right?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself,
Bingo, baby.
what did I do to deserve being so lucky?
Oh
we go.
God.
Yeah, no, she's just so beautiful and so classy and put together, and she's got the big smile on her face. And then the first greeting, she's just so vivacious, just bubbly and fun. And
Well, Lily and I met her for the very first time last night, and I can attest to everything Podcast Fanboy.
You guys
Just
are
as
gonna make
beautiful
me
in
cry.
person as her social media. Yeah, no catfishing there
No.
at all.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so you picked her up. You guys made some small talk. How long was the drive back to your place?
It was pretty long.
it's about an hour and 15 minutes, but it took us a little longer because I wanted to show her some things in the bigger city that she flew into,
Okay.
where I used to live, and then we
Yes.
went up to my cabin. In the
Okay.
mountains,
Yeah,
so.
he showed me like his old house and a few things, and it was such a beautiful drive too. So
Yeah. And how was the cabin?
oh, don't even get me started.
Yeah.
The cabin was amazing. Oh, I mean, it was just like even more breathtaking than I imagined, and the views. You have to take this like crazy gravel dirt road on the side of like a mountain to get to it. I was like,
Were you
where
white
are we?
knuckling it? Was that where she was white knuckling it?
No, that was later.
That was later.
Okay.
But just absolutely gorgeous. The town, so cute.
Very peaceful, huh?
Yeah, but it's a cute little town. Shops just everywhere and
Yeah.
little bars and pubs. And I loved it. Everything about it.
It's actually a pretty active little town. So many
Mm-hmm.
small towns in America are kind of dying out. This one has not. It's got a very active tourism
Yes.
industry.
Oh, wow. Good
and
for
they
it.
and they put on events during
Mm-hmm.
the year or during the summer that brings people in. And there's a ski resort there too, so they're busy in the winter. They tend to thrive as much as you can in small town America. So
Yeah.
there was a good buzz there when we
So
were there.
totally. And I have so much I want to talk about. So where do we start? Because I want to talk
just-
about the trip too.
Yeah,
it was so awesome.
We want to hear all about it. So I follow you on social
Yeah.
media and I watch all of your videos, and you love making videos.
I do.
So
I
there's
love it.
plenty to watch.
It's kind of my job,
But I
do
was
that,
impressed, and a little surprised because I didn't know this about you of your painting skills.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a little impressed and surprised at my painting skills. I like in high school, every art class, everything I took, even in college a little bit, but I had not painted since I was in high school. And I was so inspired by this trip. Like it just like brought out all this stuff in me. The trip to Montana, I just came home and I was like, I want to paint it. So I just was going by a picture that I took off the deck. That's his front yard, basically.
Yeah, it was a beautiful landscape view of mountains and the sky. And Podcast Fanboy's house, I learned, has lots of beautiful art and paintings in there. And I was admiring them last night when we were over there. But your little painting, that's the highlight of his...
It is. It's
action.
my most precious possession now.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. And I've got it posted in a place that I will see it 15 times a day as I walk by that. So
I love that. That's so sweet. It made me feel good.
It was the sweetest gift I've ever received in my life.
Yeah, it was very personal.
Very personal. And I knew she had done it, but the last thing I expected was her to give it away to me.
Yeah.
So
I did it for him. I was like, I hope this turns out good because I would like to give it to him for a gift just to say thank you for everything he did.
Well, and I had seen photographs of it before, and they were very nice. And she would compare it to the photograph that she was painting from.
Yeah.
But to see this thing in person, it's a whole new level. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Really cool. All right, so tell us about night one.
Oh, night one. Okay.
That's usually the awkward night because you're kind of trying to feel each other out. And,
It really wasn't awkward.
well, if it wasn't, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So first of all, shout out to Rent the Runway because I would love for them to sponsor me.
Yeah.
I got a really cute dress that I put on, and we went to a wonderful Italian restaurant, very like authentic Italian restaurant in the town. And it's such a fun place. There's like a point in the evening, everybody gets up, they just start playing like music, like certain songs. Everyone gets up and they do like a conga line through the whole restaurant. Everyone's dancing.
Oh, that's fun.
It was so fun. The food was amazing. The atmosphere was great. It was super fun. And then we went to a little bar before that and got a drink too. And I met one of his friends and
The owner and bartender, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
So first night was great. It was great. Yeah. How much do you want to know?
We want to know everything.
So we did the first night sleep in separate bedrooms. I mean, like it's the first night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a little awkward sometimes. You don't know where the boundaries are yet.
Just like getting to know each other. And I was tired. Like I live in a different time zone and stuff. So
You know me, Marcus. I'm not presumptuous about anything. And I know that first day after traveling can be pretty challenging. You're tired. And I don't ever want to keep somebody up when they're tired. You know what I mean? And it's nice to have a little privacy too when you're going to a strange place you've never been before. So, set her up in a nice bedroom. And
I still, like after I got home, I was like, can you look and see what brand those pillows are? Because I would like to buy some of those. The best, most comfortable bed, best pillows ever. I think the dog might have slept with me that night. I can't remember.
Well, she did just about every night.
Yeah,
I think.
she liked me a lot. So that was night one. Day two, horseback riding. We went horseback riding.
Yeah.
I had never been horseback riding in my life.
Never?
And it was there were a couple. It just almost like this trip was so amazing. I get tears in my eyes talking about it. But like the horseback riding, I had never done it. There were so many points. I was like, is this really happening right now? The stuff that we did was like some people. That's like a once in a lifetime experience to be in the Montana mountains, riding on horseback, going through like these trails and stuff. It makes me teary. I'm just very thankful.
I have to tell you the best part of that ride. Of course, it's a beautiful ride. You're surrounded by these mountains.
I can imagine.
And they're good horses too. They're not too flighty or anything. But there's this one spot where we have to cross this pretty deep creek.
Yeah.
And it doesn't flow really fast. It's probably 3 or 4 feet deep, so you have to lift your feet up so you don't get your boots wet when you go across. And the guide told her, she said, okay, your horse has a tendency to want to like get a little frisky in the middle of the creek. And I was up on the hill above and I was filming down at her when she got it. Sure enough, that horse got in the middle of the creek and started dancing.
Playing.
Right
like,
there in the water.
Splashing. My horse, he knew that my horse, he was like, I have a special surprise for you later. Because that horse loves the stream. So my horse was like splashing. It was so fun. Really fun. So yeah, it was an amazing, actually, and I think I was pretty good at riding too.
You're a natural.
Yeah. So I came home from that trip. I'm like,
Were you a little sore?
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't expect to be as sore as I was, but I was sore the whole rest of the trip and still sore when I got home.
Growing up in Texas and lived in a small area, we had opportunities to ride many horses. And it's always surprising how sore that your inner thighs are and your legs are.
Not just that. I mean, some other things were sore too.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic day. Oh, we went shopping.
Yes, we did.
Podcast Fanboy took me shopping on a little shopping trip through the town and bought me some gifts. And they were really nice. I was not expecting that, actually. He bought me, I don't have it on, I should have worn it, a ring and a bracelet, beautiful turquoise and silver, that's the kind of stuff they have there. And this super cool cowboy hat. He spent a lot of money on that shopping trip. I was hesitant. I was like, no, come on now. He's like, this is nothing. Come on, I'm buying this for you. So
You're not used to being spoiled like that.
no, I'm not used to being spoiled. I'm used to like being the opposite of spoiled. So
Right.
this is all very new to me. So it was.
But didn't you kind of hope that's what you were going to get with sugar dating?
I mean, I hoped, but I didn't. I don't have any. I didn't know. So
Yeah.
I didn't know. I mean, this is so weird to me. I've never had anything like this before, and this is new to me. If only I knew about stuff like this in my 20s.
I know. I've heard that from many guests.
Yeah. So, yeah, beautiful bracelet, beautiful ring, sexy cowboy hat. And I let him pick it out. He helped me pick it out, but I wanted him to like it. And he was like,
I was crazy about
rawr. He
She
liked
looks
it a
so
lot.
good in it.
Yeah. And then I wore that.
it. And we
on the
got some
ride.
spectacular pictures of her on horseback with that hat.
Yes.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it's really, really
Yeah.
hot.
So there was that. Oh gosh, so many things. What else?
So I want to ask real quick, though, to Podcast Fanboy.
Yeah.
She has these tattoos on both arms. And some guys are turned off by a girl with a lot of tattoos.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, Podcast Fanboy, that is actually a turn on for
That
you.
is the biggest turn on.
Yeah.
Give me all of that you can.
It's a little edgy,
I love edgy.
but it's well done.
very classy. It's not like a sleeve, but it's
Well, they're kind of sleeves.
well,
but
but there's a lot of
different.
bare skin in between.
Right.
It's not like just
Yeah.
all one color.
Right.
No, that is my jam.
Yeah.
Right there, sitting right there. That is my jam. She
Okay.
is so beautiful, and I love the spirit and the edginess. And she was very reserved, I think, that
Yeah.
first trip.
Yeah.
And she kept telling me, well, I do have a wild side.
So we've learned.
Yes. And I believed her, but I had no idea.
Yeah, Alejandra told me the same thing. She's like, "Oh, I can get a little freaky," and I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm waiting."
yes, it just takes a little while, you
Yeah.
know. Podcast Fanboy and I basically have matching tattoos too. We have,
Oh yeah,
Pretty close.
I have a.
you have a similar one.
He has
right
one
there.
too. Look
Well,
at that.
look at that.
And it's a moon. There's a moon. I have a moon. Look at this.
Yeah.
They seriously are so similar.
Very similar.
On the
Isn't
same
that
arm
crazy?
too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Pretty crazy.
Wow. Okay.
So he's into it. Yeah. So yeah, I know. Well, what do you think about tattoos? I always wonder. I'm a little
They
self-conscious.
don't bother me.
but Not your thing.
I know Kylie, our guest with the huge diamond ring. She didn't have any tattoos,
Hmm.
and you would think she would.
You would, yeah.
Yeah, but she doesn't have any. And I kind of grew up, and she did too. We had this discussion as I can still hear my mom go, "Why do you want to put a bumper sticker on a Bentley?" You know,
Yes.
right? So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's very rare to meet a girl without tattoos.
Today, it
These
really
days.
is.
On
yeah.
Seeking, I know that.
Yes. Oh,
Or
yeah.
on most dating sites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're very acceptable.
Yeah. I used to be the opposite of someone who would have tattoos. Like I was the corporate
Yeah.
worker and in sales and looked very.
Now,
you know,
I'm still
done
on
up.
Seeking. There was this gorgeous girl that I'm looking at her pictures, and I actually requested her privates. Oh, little update. So Seeking has done an update on their software.
Yeah.
One of the biggest complaints of girls is that guys will ask to see their private photos but won't say anything. And I tell them the reason why. It's because they're right up top. You're scrolling down and you just press it, and then you're reading the rest of their profile, and then you click back. But there's just the opportunity to say something wasn't really there. It's just so easy to click request access to the private photos. They have changed their software as of like yesterday, where when you click on the private photos, a message box pops up and it says where you have the opportunity to send a message, and then underneath is a box like send without a message.
Oh, okay.
Or
I like
request
that.
without a message. So they're trying to solve one of the biggest complaints that the girls have.
Great.
Because even in their profiles, girls say, if you request my photos and don't say a word, I'm blocking you. How many
Really?
times have you
That's a
have you
little
read that?
harsh.
I've seen it.
Well, I know, but
100
it
times
just,
at
they
least.
get so tired of it.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way the software is set up, it's just not conducive to sending a message.
Well, and they're getting 1,000 times more message
Yeah,
requests too
that's
than
true,
most
probably.
guys. Anyway,
So Seeking Software has addressed that issue, and I think maybe they've solved it. I think it's a good update.
I think it's a really good idea.
So anyway, back to the story. There was this beautiful Latina, and I like the brown
Yes,
girls.
you do.
And I was actually showing Alejandra this morning, this girl, and she's, oh, let me see her. And so we're looking at her photos. And I said, yeah, look, here's some photos. She has some tattoos. And she's like, oh, my God, that girl's gorgeous. She's like 24, just perfect, right? And then there were some other photos where she had a tattoo all the way up her neck.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
And I messaged her, and I'm like, hey, I noticed some of these pictures you don't have a neck tattoo and others you do. Is that something you currently have? And she says, yeah. And I'm thinking, why?
Yeah.
Why?
neck
That's like
ta- I mean,
getting a
I'm not a big fan of that.
that's
Not
like
neck.
getting a tattoo on your face.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you do that? You can't hide that.
That's a whole different ball game of tattoo, like a neck tattoo. Like that's pretty hardcore.
So back to the question, do I mind tattoos? No, I don't mind them at all, except if they're just
Like a neck
on,
tattoo.
on their face or
Yeah.
their neck. My niece, she got, one of these tattoos like right across her chest.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Like a necklace type tattoo.
Yeah.
And it just didn't look good.
Yeah.
There's
yeah.
just, I don't know. So
But
if you're going to
I
get
have 'em.
tattoos, at least try to do them in a way that,
Yeah, like a classy, I guess.
yeah, because I have functions, I have dates
Yes.
I want to take my girls to. I don't want to take a girl with a face tattoo.
Oh, God, no.
out to
No,
like
no.
a really nice dinner. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I do. Even with mine, I like mine, but I know not everyone does. I do worry a little bit. I can always wear long sleeves if I need to, but
I was going to comment on that because when we were in my hometown, we went to see my sister, and she covered up her tattoos for that meeting.
yeah,
Oh, did you really?
I don't know why.
And I think my
I
sister,
just do
my
that.
sister would have been fine, but she doesn't know that,
Right.
So
Yeah. I didn't take my jacket off. I had a jacket on with because
Well,
I just
women-
don't want anyone
You could
to like
wear a
judge
nice
me.
blouse or something. To,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A sweater.
It's not like you have
whatever.
a neck
Right.
tattoo or anything.
No, no.
That's going to be there for the rest of your life, or up the side of your face or something like
Yeah.
that. But
I love tattoos. I have always loved them. I waited though till I was in my 40s to get any.
really,
But I do sometimes wonder, like, was that the best decision? I mean, I think.
Yes, unequivocally,
Okay,
yes.
good. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, with my job, I work with all like creative people and
Yeah.
stuff, so it's
Well, you're kind
no
of
big deal.
artistic.
Yes, yeah,
that's very common for
Yeah.
people in that
yeah.
industry or field.
Yeah.
Or
I
whatever.
call her a Renaissance woman because she is so talented at so many things. The art that she painted.
Yeah.
Her job requires a lot of creativity in and of itself. And then she gets back to her hometown and she buys a guitar. And
did.
is starting to take guitar lessons now,
Is this
so-
after your trip?
Yeah,
Yes.
after my trip.
Wow.
Yeah, and I went to a concert too recently with my son, which was one of my favorite bands. But I'm like, why did I not learn to play guitar? So I'm going to try to learn.
Yeah, I took guitar lessons for a little while. I can play Camptown Races, sing this song, doo-dah, doo-dah. That's about the extent I got in the
That's
Did that one hit the charts or?
that did not hit the charts. Yeah, I can still play it to this day.
oh my gosh, that's
I still
funny.
remember.
You remembered that. Well, yeah. So Montana trip was amazing, and yeah, Podcast Fanboy was like.
Now, how many days
Get
were
out
you
here.
there?
Was it 4 or 5?
4 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Or 4 nights, 5 days.
Did it go quickly, or did it seem like
It
an
went
eternity?
very quickly.
Too
yes.
freaking quick.
Yeah.
Really quick.
It's
Yeah.
very quick, yeah.
Yeah. So he was
I
like,
did not like putting her back on that plane
No.
to
Right.
go home.
yeah, it was sad. But yeah, he was like, get your ass to Phoenix, girl.
Okay, so you guys had a great time in his little cabin getaway.
We did. And stuff did happen. I mean, that first night it didn't.
Like
but,
what happened?
You know, some sex stuff.
Between two consenting adults? You got to be kidding me.
I even wore lingerie, remember?
Oh my God, yes. I will never forget that.
Yeah, it was blue. I bought it for the trip. It was pretty. Yeah.
Podcast Fanboy, were you a little nervous about the whole thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
I was. I mean, I don't get the opportunity to be with somebody this incredible.
You didn't want to blow it, right?
No, I didn't. So,
It went well.
Were you
though.
afraid she's going to be a little judgy of things?
No, because I knew her personality already. She is not a judger.
Okay.
So that was not the word, but I just wanted to make sure that I'd be good enough for her, you know, on my own.
Yeah.
It was good. It was all good.
I went out. Matter of fact, she was my guest number 2, episode number 2, or my first guest on episode number 2 when we started the podcast. But she was a bikini fitness model.
What?
Like she competed.
Oh,
And
wow.
her body was tight because she was actually right in the middle of prepping for a show.
Oh, my gosh.
So, we'd go out to eat and she'd bring her own food. She'd watch
Really?
me eat. And then she's
Wow.
eating chicken and or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Prepping for the show. So anyway, we have our sexual fun. But I was a little nervous because, got a little bit of a dad bod. And,
Dad bods are good.
oh, did I say
think,
my real name?
Oops.
Marcus has a little bit of a dad bod.
Women like dad bods, I think.
Well, fortunately, she didn't judge me, but I was a little worried.
We're our own harshest critics,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a harsh critic against myself,
You
though,
are,
too.
and I'm trying to break you of
Yeah.
that. So.
Yeah. So yeah, that was all good.
It was really good.
It was great.
But it was so comfortable, Marcus, because we'd had a couple of really active days and, staying up late and having a great time. And the weather was really nice. And then on this next day, clouds rolled in and it got dark outside and the temperature dropped. And it was just one of those, let's stay inside the house, put a fire in the fireplace
Nice.
and read kind of day. And we fell asleep on the couch together. Yeah, as we were reading our books. I couldn't do that with just anybody. I'm not much of a napper anyway, but I was so comfortable with her that it came very easy.
It was so sweet. He was sitting and I had my feet on his lap. We both fell asleep reading our books in front of the fire. It was nice. Yeah. It was sweet. So, yeah, lots of good stuff.
Any other highlights from the trip? Because we're about to get into some more stuff.
I ate elk for the first time.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
And what'd you think?
Delicious.
Yeah?
It was really good. Yeah, I liked that. We
We took a beautiful drive,
that was kind
the
of
white knuckling drive.
that was scary because he was also, you're comfortable doing stuff like that. I am a flatlander and you would be looking at your phone, playing music. I didn't want to act controlling or anything, but I was like, please just let me, I'll be the DJ. Give me your phone.
It was only a 2,000-foot drop off,
It was
2
so
feet to the
scary.
side. So
It was so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, gorgeous. I love Montana. I loved it.
Did you guys do any fishing when you were there?
No,
we didn't.
No fishing.
Gave it some thought, but
Yeah.
we just had so many other things to do.
I
So-
mean, we had a long list of stuff to do, but I do like to fish.
Do you?
Yeah, I like stuff like that. Yeah, and I'm really a good fisherman. I can even tie the hook on and everything,
Oh, very good.
bait
Look
my
at
own
you.
hook, catch the fish, clean the fish, and cook the fish. I
There
can
you
do it
go.
all. Yeah,
soup to nuts.
we'll have to do that sometime.
Absolutely. Good fishing
All
up
right.
there.
Yeah.
So was there at any point where you went, oh, man, I didn't know this. I don't know if I can handle this side of her. Any red
Oh.
flags ever come up?
Not that he would tell you here with me in the room.
No. But we want to know. Yeah.
No, I can unequivocally say no. No red
Yeah.
flags
Me
whatsoever.
neither. No.
20 years ago when online dating first started, I flew a girl from Denver out to Phoenix. And as soon as she got off the plane, I'm like, oh, God.
Oh,
I
really?
think I made a mistake.
It'd be
Was
a
she
long
annoying?
weekend.
Was she
And
ugly? What?
no, she wasn't ugly by any means. But as I got to know her personality, it just didn't fit.
Okay.
And Yeah, it was a long weekend. I mean, we got along, we had fun, but I couldn't wait for the weekend to be over.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, but this wasn't the case for you guys.
No, not at all.
In fact, let me ask you, what's your opinion on, if two personalities are very close, likes, dislikes, and just the way you think about the world, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because we are like the same person of a different gender, and I love it because we have so much in common,
right?
And we love the same things. But I wonder if it'd be better if there were a few more differences. I don't know.
Well, you don't want a lot of differences because my ex-wife and I had a lot of differences, and it just wasn't fun.
Yeah,
I think we have some differences. In fact, I know I'm a little messier than you are. I know that's not. I don't know if that's going to end up being a good thing, but
yeah. Have you noticed that?
Not really.
No, like my stuff is everywhere.
When people travel and go somewhere and they're living out of a suitcase,
That's true.
It just tends to be a little bit messier situation.
Well,
so.
my house is spotless. I keep it pretty
have no
clean,
doubt.
but I do have like trouble putting my clothes away, and you are like meticulous.
Yeah. So down the road, don't say, "Oh, I didn't know this about you," because she just told you.
Exactly.
We've got
No
that.
excuses.
I'll
Yeah.
play this episode.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not,
remember,
like,
we brought
messy,
that
but-
up, so you cannot be bitching about it because I warned you ahead of time.
I'm sure I can think of other differences, but
Well,
yeah.
Well, like you like to get up and go have your coffee and stuff
I do.
before
I
you
get
do
up earlier
anything.
than he does. Yeah, and you like to shower
I
right
like
away.
to shower, shave, make
Yeah.
the bed before I ever come out.
Yes.
So.
you got your routine.
Yeah,
do, yeah.
yeah. And I get up. You're usually still sleeping. I drink coffee. I like to go outside by the pool or whatever and have my coffee and play with the dogs a little bit. So we've got some differences.
Okay. So when I do meet and greets, usually it's a couple hours, and then, I'll decide whether I want to see him again. But you guys had a very compressed, intense meet and greet for 4 or 5 days.
Remember outside that night I said, Podcast Fanboy, is this a meet and greet? Would you call this a meet and greet? And basically, I guess, it was like a
Well, the
week
first
long.
night was.
Yeah.
Definitely.
First
Yeah.
day was.
Yep. That was our meet and
I had
greet.
a 9-hour meet and greet with Kimmy.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, and we talked about that. I met her on a Sunday for lunch, and then she came over, and we literally just sat on the couch and talked for 9 hours.
That's amazing. I think that's great. Did you?
No,
No.
it was just, we talked for 9 hours. When I say talked, I'm really meant talked.
Talking.
Okay, was that before you used to compensate people for it, or did you give her anything for her time?
I
or
put her on an allowance that day.
Okay.
Yeah, a weekly allowance.
Oh, a weekly allowance.
Yeah, we lasted a whole 3 weeks.
Oh, really? Oh,
Well,
I
I
didn't
mean,
know
if
that.
you follow
Okay.
our show,
Yeah,
you'll know
yeah.
that Kimmy is in big demand.
Yeah, yeah.
and keeping her focused is, an issue.
Got it. Yes.
And I didn't want to hold her back. She had so much potential, and like she met a billionaire.
Yeah, I did.
over
Yep, knew that.
Super Bowl Sunday and that weekend, and
Yeah.
she's off and running, trying to discover what she wants to do in life.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
So,
good.
but
Yeah.
she's still my baby. I mean, she's still very, very close to me. I barely have talked to her in weeks, and she just sent me a message like, "Marcus, I miss you."
Oh,
I know.
that's sweet.
that is so sweet.
I think it was from Europe because she went. She was one of 4 or 5 girls that went with Dr. Charles to Europe.
Oh, he had multiple.
He took multiple sugar babies.
Oh, you're
on
kidding.
a
What does
trip.
he do with all of them?
We're gonna find out because he is coming to the party in November, and he also
Oh, my
wants to do a
goodness.
show.
Oh, yay.
But we are going to find out.
Oh,
in a
okay.
couple
I can't
months.
wait for that one.
Yeah.
So what should I wear to this party? Like just that, like something
Something
super
festive.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
my plan.
with these concerts, you can dress up or as down as you want. But,
Okay. I love to dress up.
I'll tell you what, the girls, they knocked it out of the park at the Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, yeah.
With their dresses and their get-ups, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
it's-
I love an excuse to wear it.
I mean, just anything that's appropriate for the stripper pole and the transportation.
Oh, I
to
do
and
have to
from
think about that.
the restaurant
Okay.
or the
well,
concert.
you might get a show. You're going to be on the pole. I know you
Me?
are.
Maybe
Yeah.
I might be on the pole. All right, so how did it end? How'd that weekend end?
Well, he took me to the airport.
Yeah, we had our nap day like
had
the
our-
day before.
Yeah,
right?
yes. And so
And then the
yeah.
next day, we drove to a different airport
Yes.
to have her fly out, and we listened to the episode.
We sped that. We actually
did.
pushed a guest back a week
So
and
we
put
could-
yours in his slot.
Yes.
You know, okay, I was so nervous about listening to that episode
What did
with
you think?
Podcast Fanboy. I think it was great. I just was so afraid I was like boring. Also, I was like, are you sure it doesn't bother you, like me talking about other guys or like what, you know? He's like,
From what Lily
yeah.
tells me, Podcast Fanboy is not a jealous
he is
guy.
not. Nope,
No.
he likes it. He likes to hear all that
He
stuff.
actually
So
likes
I
it.
thrive on it.
yeah, he
I
really
kind
does.
of do too.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm a lot like him on that end, yeah.
Do you ever get jealous, or
Well, sure, I get jealous. Matter of fact, Alejandra's going out with a guy tonight.
how do you feel about that?
I told her, more power to you. You know why? Because he's 68 years old.
Okay.
There you go.
And she did a meet and greet with him the other day, and she goes, he's really funny. And I just kind of want to, he asked me to go to Capitol Grill, and so I'm going to go out with him.
She loves her steak, so that's
And-
perfect.
oh, she
for
Yes,
loves
her.
her
she
steak.
does. She was like, I eat steak for breakfast,
And
for
here's
lunch,
what,
for dinner.
here's what she said when she came back from the meet and greet. She met him like at Starbucks. They chatted for like an hour and a half or so. She came back. Well, let's preface this. The guy's dying.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, I think he has pancreatic cancer.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah. And
Wow.
So he thinks he has about 3 or 4 years left. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
So I think there's a little pity there just to kind of give him a good, just let him enjoy life.
Yeah,
And she's fun to
yeah.
be around. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, she came back from it and she's like telling me she didn't even know who she was meeting. She couldn't remember. She couldn't find his profile. So it was like guys were walking in. Anyway, so she goes, so this old guy walks in and then he smiles at me and I figured out that was him. And she came back to me and she goes, wow, you look so young compared to what she just went
Oh
through.
my God. Well, how old are you?
55.
55. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so he asked her to go to steak, and she loves steak, and she goes, hey, I'm going to go have steak with this guy, and I'm like, okay, more power to you. And she's like, and you better stay home. I'm like, nope, I'm going to get a date too.
Oh, yeah. How'd that,
And-
did you, or no? Are you
Well,
going?
I will. And then I told her, she goes, well, where would you go? I said, Capitol Grill sounds like a great place to go.
Not awkward at all. Oh my gosh.
So
That's
we
great.
we laughed about it. We went through the whole scenario of what if you brought a date to Capitol Grill and I'm there with this guy.
Oh my gosh.
How would that go?
You guys would just like have your own little inside secret.
I know.
That's
be pretty
funny.
But
But are you going to have a date tonight?
yeah.
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 All right. Is she
So-
jealous? Does she get jealous?
Yes.
She does.
Yeah.
So back to the jealousy thing.
Yeah.
Do we get jealous? Yes. But I'm not jealous of a 68-year-old guy
Yeah.
going out with 26-year-old Alejandra.
Right. Yeah.
I kind of see and that's the thing though. We talk about it. So that kind of helps me understand the dynamic of the whole situation.
Right.
And so I'm like, yeah, go out. Give me a break.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Oh, well, that is
but
definitely
she's not
something
real
to-
crazy about me going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, she wants me
She doesn't
all
want to hear
herself.
about it.
No, she does want to hear
Oh.
about it.
She's
Because
not crazy about it.
I went out with a bodybuilder, another one the other day. We went and had sushi, and
What?
she's 5 nothing and has bigger biceps than I do. And it's just,
How old is she?
she was like 33.
Okay.
Very sweet soul. Like she's new on the site, and she's so interested in the podcast.
Oh.
And she had been listening to it and just trying to get all the knowledge that she could because she's never done this before. She's only
Yeah.
been on there like a month or two. So we had a lot to talk about. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. I enjoy doing that. Alejandra and I have a great connection and we do so much stuff together. But, I like people.
Yeah, it's fun to.
I don't want just one friend.
I know. So even before this, people talk about how much they hate dating apps and stuff. I always have had great dates with people because it's like I don't get nervous usually. And like I'm just like making a new friend. And it usually, anytime I've dated someone from an app or anything like that, we just end up being friends, like usually. So, but yeah, I like meeting new people still. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun. So, well, that's good.
So Podcast Fanboy, he's not a jealous guy.
No. He's not. He likes to hear the stories.
Yeah.
He likes me to, do my thing.
When I really like somebody, as is obvious in
Yeah.
this case, and this sounds a little trite, but I mean it. I want the best for them, and I want them to be happy. And if it takes dating around, meeting other guys to find that and to have a good, fun, interesting life, more power to you.
Yeah.
And because we live in different states,
Yes. Yeah,
You know,
that's
I don't
hard.
expect her to like be sitting there waiting for the one visit a month, you know,
Right.
or whatever
Yeah.
it is. I want her to go out and have a good time.
Well,
so.
same with you as well, because I know that you love the ladies. So I know you're not going to only be like seeing me, and I wouldn't expect you to. So, but I mean, I'm really
Have
not
you guys even
dating. We haven't really talked about this or anything.
Because it's so brand new.
It's
Like,
very new. I haven't been dating. I mean, just because I live in a small town, there's not a big dating
a little harder. You've got to
pool.
travel to
Exactly.
date,
If
just
I
about
lived in Phoenix, I would probably be dating more. But no, I don't know. I'd be
Okay,
dating
well,
you. No.
I know we're starting to run short on time, so
Yeah.
I want to get into some good questions.
Okay.
How's the allowance part work for you guys?
You know,
Have you discussed that?
You know, what's interesting. We have not. We have not had a formal discussion about it.
Okay.
And, you know, it was the same thing when I was seeing Lily. We never once had a conversation about it, but she knew she was always going to be taken care
And
of.
Lily was very happy with everything that you did for her. She always expressed that to me.
Well, that's nice.
That
nice
you
to
were
hear.
that you took care of her.
And it's the same way with Katie. I mean, Katie and Lily are a lot alike in many ways.
Oh, I know.
And,
I saw how they got along in their interview. Oh my God.
And
Yes. We kind of took over. We were like, bye, Marcus.
Like I just sat over here like a lump on the log.
you know, I'm not averse to having that conversation, and you have to have it in many situations. But with somebody like Katie, I just want to make sure I stay ahead of the curve,
Yeah.
so she doesn't feel like she's being taken advantage of in any way, and that she's very happy with that component of it.
Yeah.
Our situation actually, even though it came about as a result of the sugar lifestyle, we didn't meet on that site.
Right.
It kind of happened organically, actually. But at the same time,
If you want to say that.
but at the same time, I want to respect the process, respect
Right.
the concept, and I
Yes.
don't want to take advantage of that. So,
Yeah.
you know, if she ever wants to have that conversation, we will definitely have it. But I hope I can just stay ahead of the game a little bit.
I don't even
So-
think we will need to have that conversation. We'll just say he's been very generous.
Yes,
We'll say that.
yes.
And he did give me, what do you even call it? I don't know. He did
A gift.
He did give
Yeah,
me
a
a
financial gift,
Yes,
yeah.
he did. And he is the one who brought it up. And I was like,
It's awkward,
it's so
isn't it?
awkward.
Yeah.
It's so awkward. But I was like, wow, this is so nice of you. Thank you.
Right.
And then he bought me jewelry and bought me things and wined and dined me and flew me first class to Montana, flew me first class here.
Okay, so
which
then
was
you guys
great.
arranged a trip here, 2-3 weeks later.
Yeah. Yes.
Here you are.
Basically, right when I got home, we
Right, we
arranged
just-
the next
You're like,
trip.
I gotta
we
see
had to
you
get
again.
it on the calendar.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be a conversation we need to have because I know how he is.
So we were all excited because we set up a triple date. Mm-hmm. And this is the first time that Lily and Trucker had met Podcast Fanboy. And of course, they were all excited to meet you, but they were a little hesitant about how it would go. I kept telling her, Lily, I'm telling you,
it
it's
was
going to be
great.
fantastic.
I was a little worried about Trucker, you know, because he is the jealous type when it was
A little bit, yeah.
when it was he
Yeah.
and me seeing Lily. I wanted to know everything that was going on in her life and her dating situation, and he didn't want to know anything.
Yeah, he's different that way, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but it went well. It was great. It was so
Yeah.
much fun. Got to wear a pretty dress. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this kind of blew me away. When I was in Montana, Podcast Fanboy popped a big question while I was there. Will you?
Really?
Yeah, he was like,
Will you?
Will you and your kids go to France with me for Christmas?"
That quick. You decided that quick you wanted to,
I did.
to spend a European vacation with her.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. So I thought there's no way that will work during the
Didn't
holidays.
you think that was a little quick, though?
Not knowing him, no, and
That
knowing
could be a
you know.
red flag, you know.
I don't think in this
Could be, but it may
lifestyle
not be.
though. I don't feel like stuff like that is a red flag. I mean, this is just what happens, right? I don't know.
Well, and I want to be clear too. You know, I was going to do that trip with my kids,
Yes.
regardless.
Yeah.
I didn't design it around
No,
Katie,
no.
but I was thrilled when she agreed to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I just didn't think it would be possible because it's the holidays. I have kids, I didn't think their dad would be okay with me leaving the country with them around Christmas, but I did ask him and he was like, "I don't think I want you to do that," and then he thought about it and he said, "That's such a good opportunity. So
It'll be
go for it."
a lifetime of memories.
Yeah. So he really couldn't he didn't feel right about saying no. So we planned the trip. And so all 3 of my sons and I are going, and his kids and friends, and hopefully you.
Podcast Fanboy did invite Alejandra and I to go there. And it sounds so tempting. We're going to see if we can't make it work.
I hope you can.
You sent me the Airbnb. It's an Airbnb, right?
It is.
And it's a chalet is that what you call it?
A chalet, yes.
It is just magnificent.
I mean,
it has an indoor swimming pool, an indoor hot tub, right?
Yeah, and an outdoor hot tub.
And
a movie theater in the house.
Yeah.
It sleeps 22. We're not going to have that many people, but
It's like 10 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, something like that, and gorgeous.
In France.
In the Alps,
Alps.
the bottom of Mont Blanc.
an hour from Geneva.
Well, we probably shouldn't give the location
maybe.
exactly. Everyone's going to come find us at Christmas.
You know, we do have a big following in France. We do.
So, yeah, that was very unexpected. And I feel like I'm living in a dream. It's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah. So, yep. So we've got this trip Phoenix. Oh, and then he's coming to where I live to meet my family as well.
Have you ever been to that part of the country?
I have.
Okay.
I have. No, I haven't spent extensive amounts of time, except in one of the major cities in that state. I actually did training for this franchise opportunity that I had when I started that business. But we thought it was a good idea to expose her boys to me before they just showed up in France.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So we're gonna do
Now,
it
when does this take place?
the first weekend in November.
Yeah.
Okay, so in about 6 weeks or so.
Right. Right.
Yeah, 5-6 weeks.
Because I'm leaving Sunday.
Yeah,
for
he's going out of the
18 days.
country again. So
Solo.
Yeah.
Solo. Want to be clear of that. Going solo.
Yeah, on your
yeah.
special ops, undercover, secret
Yeah, right.
service trip, whatever that we all think you might be part of. Sometimes we don't know what Podcast Fanboys do. We just have to guess.
Yeah. A man of mystery.
Man of mystery.
Yeah, everything's going well. Very well. I'm enjoying it.
Nothing scaring you off yet?
No, not at all.
Well, and I
Because
did-
sometimes things can move a little quickly.
Well, I mean, doesn't it? I feel like
but when you're
when you
older,
do
you're just
this-
kind of like, fuck it.
Well, yeah,
Like, what are
and-
we waiting for, right?
exactly.
I feel like you move quicker in relationships like this than you typically would in a traditional relationship.
Yeah.
I think, don't you?
It happens a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you both know what you want.
And the beautiful part of this trip is I have got to see the wild side of Katy come out.
You didn't see it as much up in Montana as you
No.
saw it here?
No.
Yeah,
no.
I started noticing a little while.
Yeah.
Did you last night?
Oh yeah,
In the hot tub?
Katie had a few drinks and
And woo!
yeah,
Put on the green bikini.
put on the bikini.
She almost fulfilled one of my lifetime fantasies last night.
Can you believe that?
But I discovered that it's not doable.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always wanted, you watch porn, you see these scenes where
you watch
you get
porn,
you get
Marcus?
seduced.
Oh, I'm a red-blooded male. Never seen it.
You know how they get seduced in the kitchen and they have sex on the countertop?
Yeah.
Well, that opportunity was there, but I realized I would have to get a step stool
Yeah.
to be able to reach.
Yeah,
'Cause
your counters are
Logistically-
a little high.
the counters are too
yeah.
damn high.
yeah. It didn't quite work, but
Right. Yeah.
but that green bikini came off.
Oh my goodness.
Nice.
Well, you came back for your leftovers.
Yes, and I did feel like I was interrupting
I
something.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Katie had her hand over her mouth, and I'm like, oh, sorry.
Was I like-
I really know I'm interrupting something here. I'll be quick. But Alejandra wanted her leftover steak.
Yeah,
Of course she did.
From
She loves
Maple
her
and Ash.
steak.
That's
Oh,
right.
that place was so cool.
You liked it? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
Yes, and we got dessert too.
Yeah. We got their famous coconut cream pie
it's
as
that's my
advertised,
favorite.
right?
I would go to that restaurant just for the Caesar salad and the coconut cream
How
pie.
different was that?
It was the best Caesar salad I've ever had.
Yeah, I told you guys it was just it's wood fired. Who
Yeah.
knew you would wood fire a Caesar salad?
Yeah,
I didn't
who-
know that was a
who knew?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Delicious. Absolutely
So
delicious.
good. Yeah. So, but it was such a highlight meeting you in person because
Yeah.
we've only met over Zoom before. So you and Lily. So I was really excited and glad we got to do that.
Yeah.
and I got to check out another Pod Populi location.
Yes,
so
you did.
That's a win.
Well, there's still so much I want to talk to you
I
guys
know,
about.
I know.
How fast did this go?
Blink of an eye. Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Unbelievable.
still so much like that I wanted to talk about too. Just
Well, you are going to be a recurring guest.
yay, one of the characters.
You'll be spending some
Characters.
time in Phoenix now. So
Yeah.
get used to it.
yes. Yeah, for
And
sure.
we're going to actually do some recordings during our party.
Oh,
So I've
fun.
got some microphones, and we're going to figure out how to record maybe at my house during our pre-party or during the concert.
That'll be
Somehow
fun.
we're going to get some sound bites from that.
That will
It'll
be
a lot of fun.
great. Yeah.
All right.
I think I'm going to open an Instagram just for my character so that people can actually follow me for real.
Cool.
That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we've got to run. If you want to share your crazy sugar dating stories, comments, or questions, you can always go to our website at secretsofasugardaddy.com, and please follow us on Instagram at the same name. And again, this is your last chance to sign up for our party, and you're going to want to meet Podcast Fanboy, Katy, myself, Dr. Charles, so many people.
Kevin, I can't wait to meet Kevin.
Absolutely. You know, it's funny. Our guest last week saw Kevin walking out because we did a double episode, and she goes, "That was Kevin? Boy, he was much different than I pictured him." But he's still such a great guy. You're just going to meet the whole crew and a lot of our guests there.
It's going to be so fun.
All right, Katy, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Podcast Fanboy, always a pleasure.
It is, Marcus. I appreciate your giving us this time.
All right, until next episode. Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to connect or even be on the show, we'd love to hear from you at secretsofasugardaddy.com.